Hi guys, it's Niall here. Today I'm going to be talking about the necessities for a vintage Commodore 64 setup. Now these will only be the basic components such as drives, joysticks, etc. But it won't go into the advanced things like radios, synthesizers and fast load cartridges. So if you're like an expert in Commodore 64s or perhaps vintage computers, this video might not be that helpful, but I'm hoping that some of you will learn something from this and it will be useful for a few people. Now for those of you who don't know, the Commodore 64 has no ROM, so you will need to load programs or anything data wise to the computer via storage mediums, either cassette players, which I have here, the Commodore dataset reader, or you will need a floppy disk drive, which I don't have here, but both are necessities. However, the floppy disk drives in the UK are hard to find, so you may find it easier to just get a cassette, which works fine. However, in many cases it can be slower. I also strongly recommend getting head cleaners for the cassette players. They work like regular cassettes. You just plug them in them, play it, wait till it gets to the end and rewind it back. This will keep the heads clean, because the dirtier they get, the more likely they are to break, and replacement parts are very hard to find these days and more expensive than working datasets in many cases. So I highly recommend that you keep yours clean. The next thing you'll need is a joystick, such as this one here. They connect to this side of the computer right here. There's two ports for them on the Commodore 64, and they are very effective for controlling games because most games do require them. Some will function with the keyboard, however most games will require a joystick, and even if they do work with the keyboard, it's a lot easier to just use a joystick than the cursor keys on the computer keyboard. As I mentioned previously, the Commodore 64 has no internal storage for programs, so you will have to store them on separate medias, such as floppy disks or cassette tapes. Here I have a blank cassette tape. Now these can still be found in the UK in antique stores fairly easily, and in America I'm not so sure, but I recommend just checking out antique stores and Radio Shacks. But these can take a while to load, so floppy disks are quicker to load programs. However, the capacity should be more than enough, especially with more recently made cassettes, to store any type of program on. With any vintage computer, you will need the manual, especially computers like the Commodore 64 that ran BASIC, otherwise how will you know how to program it, or even to load programs that you've made or games that you've brought. The user manuals always give good information about setting the PC up, as well as writing programs, such as here we have an example program. Those are quite good because that's how people learned back in the day. They would type in the examples and learn from them, and it also gives you good information about how to use different commands, such as the input statement here. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching this video. I do apologise that most parts of this video were quite grainy. I'm currently testing out using a new camera to film YouTube videos with, but I don't yet have a tripod for it. But that will change very soon, so please do let me know in the comments if you thought the quality of this video, as in the picture, was better, apart from the graininess of course, because I'll be using this camera as much as I can in the future because it is better quality in my opinion. Now if you did like this video and you found it useful, please drop me a like. If you didn't, please don't just drop a dislike, leave me a comment telling me what I need to do to improve to make the next video all the more enjoyable. If you like this video a lot and you want to see more content like this on vintage computers and antiques, then do subscribe, because I'd hate for you to miss my weekly uploads. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.